Alright, my final thoughts and conclusion on this Gforce GF12P pump shotgun. I kind of did this review on these discount guns just to be kind of fair and impartial, and instead of saying, oh, I heard this, oh, I heard that. Okay, I actually had the thing. I made detailed videos about issues I ran into with this gun, okay, and problems that I had, and how I kind of solved some of them. Let's just say if you took this gun as it came with the barrel, this, off, this and that. This is also the one I believe had the silica pack in there. Now, you would have found that if you, cleaned the barrel out. But I have heard of someone who bought a Centurion shotgun, had it delivered, just took it out of the box, loaded it, and went and shot it, and there was a silica pack in there, and the barrel burst. So that is a serious safety issue. I don't care. A lot of people go, hey, you're talking about this, it's meaningless. No, it's not. Okay? So, out of the 5 guns I tested, this and another gun were, I can call, non-functioning when they arrived. What happened was, cleaned the gun, overviewed it, showed you how to strip it. My first problem was getting the trigger group out. Now you should be able just to tap these pins out with a punch, get them past the little locking wire, and just drop this trigger guard group out. It should just come out of the receiver, and the 3 or 4 times I've taken it does not. It hangs up, you gotta yank on it, rip on it, and get it back in. I had to tap on something, and I ended up breaking off the end of a sheet metal pin in there, and now I got a loose pin that don't lock. Okay, simple solution to that is I'll just Loctite it and restore it. Okay, put a little drop of Loctite on each side, let it dry overnight, should end that problem. If I ever got to remove it, put a little acetone on there, wait a few minutes, dissolve the Loctite, and then you can drive the pin out. So it's not a permanent thing. Second problem was when I did pull this out, okay, this lifter should fall freely, and when I take the trigger mechanism out, it does function good. It is free moving, so it's binding on something inside the receiver, but it does work. And this other thing that was a problem was when they Loctited the magazine tube into the receiver, the Loctite spilled in there, they assembled the gun, and it Loctited the plastic plug follower here, magazine end cap was Loctited to the tube, so you couldn't load a shotgun shell in there until I pushed this up, went over, and smacked it with a punch and broke it free. And it was plastic, and the Loctite dissolved the plastic so bad I had to get a metal one. And even now, this catches on something to where loading that first round is always difficult if you watch the videos. Granted, when this is up, when I fire it, it drops down, so it's not a problem. But it should be in a downward position. Trying to pull it down with a punch or a key ain't a good thing. So I've had mechanical problems. So the tolerances and the way they put these guns together, they don't care. They're assembling guns with piss poor quality control and functionality. That's why they're selling them in a clearance for $100, because people have had a multitude of problems with them. Now on the other hand, there are people that have sent me comments saying they put this gun together and this individual shot this gun, okay, and it works fine, he has no issues with it, it's a fantastic bargain and a deal, okay. That's probably true. So I'm not going to tell somebody who's satisfied with this that, they're foolish or whatever, but, they do have issues. The thing is, it will cost you double to get like a Mossberg Maverick or something. They're kind of basic model, base model. and you would have no problems. You would have service, parts, everything else, and support. That's what you're paying that extra $150 for. So that's the choice you should make. This is an interesting gun. Now it functions. I fired 3-inch magnums in this, and surprisingly, this stock configuration, the recoil wasn't bad. It's 3-inch magnums. Firing a steady diet of 3-inch magnums with this gun, probably you would see stress. These are aluminum receivers. Okay, you would see stress, and eventually, over time, probably something would fail, or I've heard of the receivers cracking on these particular guns, because a lot of the fellows in Canada don't have this defense style model. They get the hunting version, which has a different stock configuration, say like a 28-inch barrel or longer, and they use them to go waterfowl hunting. And they shoot predominantly 3-inch magnums, probably steel shot or bismuth or something, and they have had failures. Okay, and there's no replacement parts or any of this other stuff, so a lot of people are dissatisfied. You know, again, the gun's not made of quality material. The quality control and assembly and parts and that is a problem. I've had 2 guns that is an issue, and that's what it was from the factory. Piss poor quality control, not deburring parts, just slamming these things together. They're destined to fail. So, in reality, if you're smart and you don't want to have problems, you should avoid this particular model and just buy like a Mossberg shotgun. You will pay double or more, but you will be free of headaches, quality control issues, support issues, and other things. You know, can I use this gun and that? Well, here's a scenario. Say I was going to use this as a defense shotgun. How I do it, how I store my gun for defense around the home, is I'd rack it and then fire it, you know, leave the safety off. So I have an empty chamber and this pump's ready to be pumped. I would take the weapon, I would load 4 shells into this. But now we got the issue, this lift gate is not coming down. I have to manually pull this down to get it in a position. That is how I would leave the gun, like that. Safety off, nothing in the chamber, 4 shells in the mag. You hear something at night, you pick up the gun, okay, you still got an empty chamber. If you determine there's a threat or you have to use it, you go. The only thing is with this lever here, if I did that, okay, loaded this and this thing's up, when I rack this up, this is still up. And my shell would not come out of the magazine. Then I got an empty chamber, the weapon's locked, you're in a panic, and you got nothing in there. Okay, so yeah, this kind of fails as far as I'm concerned. But it does work, it does shoot. You know, other than these small mechanical problems, which really shouldn't happen. I mean, a pump shotgun is probably the simplest one out of the bunch. But yeah, I would have to recommend, you know, not to buy it. All right, unless you really, really don't have money or are willing. See, and again, we're not playing the lottery here. You shouldn't say, well, I bought one and mine worked fine, where the next guy come and bought this one and has a whole pile of issues. Okay, you know, we're not buying scratch-off tickets at a lottery kiosk. Okay, we're buying a shotgun. Okay, so I'll leave it up to you, but my personal recommendations are, these things are a lot of headaches. I'm starting to regret even starting this whole series. I have run into these problems, and you know, even though there's not a lot of money tied up in it, it's still not functioning correctly and there's really no way to fix it. Somebody said, well, can't you ask them to send you another trigger group or something? I don't believe parts, that almost fell out, that pin. Yep, see? The pin. Oh, I gotta take care of this. That's another problem. You don't need the pin falling out while you're running around in the dark or out in the field and losing it. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to, it's a tough call, okay? This thing is usable, it can be used. It's not 100%. I'd say with the mechanical issues and that, I'm gonna give it, say, truthfully, about a 65%, usage. I would not recommend buying this. I mean, you can, if you don't mind, if it's something to play with, like, that's what I'm going to do, just play with this. I still have my 870 if I needed a shotgun to rely on. I'd have my 870 or I'd get a Mossberg. So that's my thing. I would have to say avoid it, okay, to be honest. From my experience with this particular one, avoid it. I know you could go out and get one and not have a lick of problems with it, but then again, like I said, we should be recommending a product for quality and reliability. We're not here giving you odds on a lottery. Alright, thank you guys. Keep watching. I'm going to go through all of these and point out the problems and issues with them. And you can decide for yourself what you feel comfortable with, okay? And so hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.